We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity for Legacy Partners. And this training section is designed to help you all learn how to take people resources and turn them into profit. So one of my mentors, Ralph Miller, years ago, he went ahead and said to me, he said, "Mark, you have a very unusual gift. You're very different than other people." And I said, "Okay, how's that?" And he said, "You know how to take people's talents and turn them into money. Like anything somebody's passionate about, you can take any passion that somebody has and turn it into money." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, but all business owners can do that." He said, "No, they can't. Business owners can take their passion and plug you into it and make money on that. But you have the ability to take somebody's passions and turn it into money." He said, "That's a very unusual gift." And I said, "Oh, okay, that's pretty cool." So this training segment, business owners don't even know how to do this. It seems like most of them don't. Successful entrepreneurs probably do, maybe. And so we're going to use as a case study with Saad and his 4 resources. And so that'll be the case study. So it's the first time in Life Mastery's history ever that they've had resources, VA resources, that they're compensating, paying, and they don't speak English. And so in my training, I use a lot of body language. And so I learned that as being a professional speaker. Now, Ralph Miller, he owned an aviation company, and when he was in his early 50s, he sold it, never had to work again a day in his life. He made so much money on that sale, he never had to work again. So very wealthy. The guy was just a freaking genius. Like he was just amazing at so many different things. And so the challenge that you all have is that you all are normal human beings. My kids say I'm not a normal human being. Like I'm not, they say you didn't have a childhood, Mark. Like I'm pretty sure I did. I remember more about my childhood than most people do, but I understand what they were saying. And so when I was probably, I don't know, 8, 9 years old, I went ahead and played. This is what I did for fun. We had a big old house, old farmhouse, and we had, property and trees and everything. And on the side of the house, there was this big tree with all of the dirt and stuff like that. And I built the city. And so, like I'm 8, 9, 10 years old. And so I built this city. And then I built this really nice little mini house that had an in-ground pool in it. And then when the rains came, it flooded and wiped out my entire city. And so what did I do?
You rebuilt it?
I rebuilt it. This time, though, I was smarter, though, because I didn't want my whole city wiped out. So what did I do?
Added drainage or
Drainage,
built it
right.
up?
Yeah, I added a whole entire drainage system to go ahead. It didn't work, wiped it out again. So, so it's like, but it gave me good experience for our property here, and so I'm like 9, 10 years old, and this is what I'm doing. In addition to that, I built an entire monetized system with my own money, my own monetary money. So I told Rosanna, I think I was 40 or 45, and I told Rosanna, I said, I don't know if I was a normal child. And she kind of looked at me and she cocked her head and said, "You're just finding that out now?" Like, I don't know. I thought everybody built cities and, drainage systems and then economics. Like I was in a world of my own that I built an entire city, a whole thing. So And so I started filing my own taxes. I did my own taxes maybe at 12 or 13 years old. So I was a pretty industrious kid, like anything I could do to make money. And it wasn't the money. I didn't really care about the money. It was just be productive. And so then I started doing my own bookkeeping when I was 12 or 13. So I started all the money coming in and all the money going out, tracking all my money. And so most normal human beings, they consume. So if you have a real job, you make money and then you spend it. You often don't invest much money. You spend it. So when you're buying food, you're not thinking, what kind of an ROI am I getting on this? When you're buying a car, you're not thinking, how am I getting an ROI? So most normal people don't have ROI as a return on investment. So as a household, it's just consumptive. It's all consumptive. Like everything's consumptive. Oh, my parents, when we were I think I remember when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I remember this. Like and maybe I was older, maybe I was 7, but I remember me and my brothers and sisters and my parents, and we counted all our money up. And then my dad sent it to California at a bank because it could get a 0.25% more interest rate than, anywhere else. And I remember that as 5, 6. I'm like, that. Now, my dad, why did he do it? It's weird because, what do we have? $5, $10? Like, it wasn't a lot of money. But it taught me frugality. Don't waste any money. I remember as a teenage boy, and so, Saad, he was a teenage boy once too. Elaine has a teenage boy. Mary Jo has brothers that teenage boys. You all can envision. So I'm a 15-year-old teenage boy, and I'm making a buku amount of money, like a lot of money, because I have this job, and I'm making so much money. My signature looks like a doctor's signature because I go ahead and had so many checks coming in that I had to sign as a teenage boy. And then I gave a lot of money to the church, to my parents' church, like a lot, like thousands of dollars as a teenage boy. So I'm giving hundreds, yet thousands of dollars to the church on a regular basis. I'm giving this, and I'm playing soccer. So I played soccer in high school. And, when you're playing soccer as a high school boy, you're hungry. Like, like you're starving, and you have road trips. And so they stop at McDonald's. And so when I grew up, my dad and mom were missionaries. And so when we stopped at McDonald's, we never got our own French fries or shake. We always had to share it with our brothers and and so it was hard because you'd measure, like they could have this. So these are good things, like this built within me at a young age. It embedded in me stewardship, like you don't waste anything. And so I'm this teenage boy, I'm famished, and I love Big Macs. To this day, I love Big Macs. I worked at McDonald's, 2 McDonald's. One is when I was 15, 16, 17, one was a franchise owned and one was independently owned. Learned so much there. It's one of the reasons I'm so big into video. Like there's all these stories. And so I was talking to Saad earlier today, and I said, Life Masteries might have more Pakistani people working with it than American. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with that. I said, but Saad, they have to be like you. Like I consider him one of my closest friends. Like he actually is a true friend. I perceive he cares more about me than my own brothers do and my sisters do. And he's Muslim and I'm Christian, and he cares more about me than my Christian friends or my church. Like it's weird. It's like, my gracious, it's like, so he's a true friend of mine. And I'm feeling that way towards Saad because Saad is honest with me. He didn't have to tell me that he had 4 resources, but he did. And then he said, this is how much paying him. And then he said, you know, and I do it intentionally because they're, and the poor, and I want to help them out. So he touches my heart because I want to help out. Like I've been blessed so much and I want to help other people, not just my own kids or Americans. I want to help everybody in the world. Like that's my life vision. And so I feel connected to Saad. Like I want to help them build their own businesses. I want to help them have freedom so they're not enslaved. Anyways, so I love Big Macs, but they were like, I don't know, 30 cents more to buy a Big Mac than a fish sandwich. But because it was 30 cents more, I'm giving hundreds of dollars to the church just because my parents didn't make me do it. They just said, hey, this is, I think, a good thing. And I gave more than so here I'm giving hundreds of dollars to the church and it's no big deal. It's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I won't buy a Big Mac. I'll buy a fish sandwich because it's 30% less, 30 cents less. I just thought all teenage boys did that.
Sadly, they don't.
And so I'm super frugal, but I invest massive amounts back into my business. And so a lot. And so I don't like wasting any money because it's a principle of the thing. So with now goals, so I was a goal setter. My parents were never goal setters that I saw. They never sat down and said, what's your goals for life? Never. What's your life vision? Never. They never did any of that kind of stuff. I mean, my dad started a whole bunch of churches, got them up and going, and then he left and started another one. So I saw him like a businessman. You get a business going. And so I saw that, but he was never a goal setter. Goals, part of that's going to be because of my personality. So, a driver personality is going to be, just good at goal setting. It's like they're wired for it, I guess. So there's so many triggers here. So this is going to take some time. So there's so much that it's like 61 years old and 40, 50 years of business, 50 years of business experience, and I'm trying to download it into you guys. So Saad has goals and minimum expectations, and he's not hitting those. That doesn't bother Saad and Mary Jo as much as it does me. Questions?
No more.
I don't know how to teach you all how to care like I care. So once I was coaching an Action Vision client, it was a woman, and I guess I got a little intense, and she's like, Mark, chill out. It's not like somebody's going to die. So she's paying me to coach her, and I care a lot about that. I want to give her great value. She's investing money. She could invest it into a lot of things or buy a bigger house or car, or she could give it away. She's paying me and I have to give her a great return. And so I thought about that. And for 3 days, and then it finally hit me after 3 days. And it's like in my world, people do die. If I don't hit goals, people die. Little girls get raped. Little boys who don't have a dad may not have a mom. They're orphans. I can do something about that. If I can take anybody in the world, and if they're willing to work hard and be consistent, I can make them wealthy. That's a gift I've been given. I can take their gifts and their passions. So every one of the 8+ billion people on the planet, They're creating God's image. Every single one of them are. Whatever that God is, or if you're an atheist, I don't care. You like just look. And so everyone's special. Everyone's amazing. And so the reason that it's important is we have to, in business, we have to, when people invest money into a client or whoever invests money into us, we have to give them a financial return. So Saad, he's supposed to go ahead and he needs to get minimum of 4 business x-rays sold a month, and one of those turn into Action Vision sale. He's got 1 out of the 4. I think this is his 4th week or 3rd week. I don't know, but I shouldn't have to know. Either Mary Jo, because she's the primary person, and Saad. Between the two of them, both of you should care more than I do. You have to care about your own success more than I care about your success. And so I know he's got 4 people. There's 40 of those. There's 400 of those. There's 4,000 of those people, not only in Pakistan, but there's millions of those people that if they're just given a chance, I was given a chance. I was born in America. I was born to the parents, or to the most frugal parents in the world. I was given a dad that wasn't really connected to people or to me, but he was good in business. And he was a faithful dad. And he worked hard, and he taught us how to work hard. And so a lot of these kids haven't been. And so we take what we invest into those 4 resources and we make money from it. So they make money, and Life Masteries generates revenue for the people that they serve. So everybody's making more money. And then we can bring on more people and we can change their lives. But somebody's got to care. So I don't care a rip about the money. But it's a tool. And if you don't go ahead and get more back than what you invest in, you're going to go out of business. You just will. Even a nonprofit, they will go out of business. If we don't get more money back than what we're putting in, then we're going to go out of business, and then we can't help anybody. And so it matters not to make money. Yes, to make money, but it's not money. It's not greed. It's not because I value money. I don't know what it was, 15, 20 years ago, somebody gave me a values inventory. It wasn't Christian. It was, I don't know what it was, but they had 30 values. And my number 1 value, they said, was spirituality. That's very different to me than other Christians, or most people, I think. Like, my Creator created me to do something I'm going to do. And he did that for everybody. Like, he's given everybody something special. And one of those special things he's given me is the ability to make money, a lot of money. The ability to take people's talents and turn it into money. So they have freedom, so they're not enslaved and doing a job they don't like doing, or doing terrible things, that they don't have a choice. Little girls are being raped 30 times a day. It's like, I have 4 daughters. I have 6 granddaughters. They're, for crying out loud. Like, hello? So I should be doing that. Men are doing that. They're raping these girls. They're abusing these girls. They're turning them in. Like, it's just wrong. It's morally wrong. And so to me, it's not about the money. It's the more money I can make, the more money we can make, the more profit we can make, the more we can invest into people and using their talents to go ahead and do amazing things and change the world. That's what it's about. That's why it means something to me. And so I don't know how to transfer that to other people. I just don't. So the mechanical part is a part of it. So Mary Jo, knowing, okay, this is how much, this is how much, and I've got to run here, but this is how much, Life Masteries is investing into Saad, and they got to get a return. The bigger the return, the more they can invest back into the people. These other resources, they're going to be investing into those. How do we get a return? We've got to get a return. And that's our responsibility. It's not therefore. Therefore, responsibility is to do what they need to do, what they're given to do. like Jonathan, my oldest son, who died 5 years ago, like his gift was like video production. Like he did video production. He's masterful at it, so gifted at it. And he was working for, he had his own company, helped him set it up and stuff. And I don't know, 6 months into it, he's like, Dad, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm like, why? He's like, I'm not making you any money. And I said, buddy, your responsibility is to do what I direct you to do. I'm the customer. I'm directing you to do it. My responsibility is to take your gifts and turn it into money. That's my responsibility, not yours. I appreciate, but he didn't want to get paid for doing work that wasn't making me money. Like, that's just a good kid. Like, there's kids out there that expect their parents to give them money and they don't work. He was working his tail off, but it wasn't making money. And he felt bad about that, which is good. And so I don't know how to invoke, like, I don't know how to do that. So this is the first lesson. There's a whole bunch of things. And so Mary Jo and Saad, appreciate you both. Love both of your hearts. I think you'll do good at this. In being able to break it down and say, okay. And so, Mary Jo, some of the technical things. And so the first thing I think is editing videos. I think that's the fastest thing. And so, but then how do we divide it up between Adam and the resources? How do we manage the work? Like, they don't speak English. So, but we do have Saad, we do have, Shuaib, and we do have Adam. So Adam could potentially slide in and teach them or whatever. Or do we have Saad do it? I don't care how it gets done, who does the work, but it's got to be done in the most efficient way. And then it needs to be a machine. It needs to be like an assembly line, like, okay, you do this and this. And then as they're good stewards with that, then they'll get more. So hopefully this is helpful to all of you. You should be thinking, who are two people that I'm going to teach how to do this? And so you didn't have the experiences I did. And so you didn't have the experiences I did. So how do you get people to think like me? I don't know. Have them hear my story, have them see my heart and say, holy cow. So if I can implant my experiences in all of you, then maybe you'll think like that. Or maybe you have other experiences that are different than mine that you can connect with me and say, oh, that's what he's talking. Oh, this is why he's doing it. So always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.